You probably don't know his name. He wasn't the main character. He didn't make it to the ending credits. He didn't get the glory or the closure. But if you've ever played Dead Rising, if you ever stepped into the Willamette shopping mall, then you felt the weight of Brad Garrison. And if you haven't, let me tell you a story about a man torn between duty and survival. A man whose loyalty led him to sacrifice everything, even when no one was watching. This is Brad Garrison's tragic loyalty. Brad isn't your typical zombie game hero. He's not cocky. He's not reckless. He's not even trying to be the hero. He's a federal agent, Department of Homeland Security, professional, controlled, focused. When the zombie outbreak hits Willamette, Colorado, Brad is already on site, deep into the mess, trying to contain something that was never meant to be public. He was tracking down a scientist named Dr. Russell Barnaby, a man who knows too much, the man who helped create the nightmare. And from the moment you meet Brad, he's already exhausted, already fighting battles on too many fronts, the infected, the truth, and now you, because you play as Frank West, a photojournalist looking for a scoop, and Brad doesn't have time for your camera. But here's the thing. He never treats Frank like an idiot. He never abuses his power. He never runs away. That's the kind of man Brad is. He's quiet, relentless, trapped in a situation far bigger than he can control, but still trying to do the right thing. Let me ask you something. If the world fell apart tomorrow, would you still follow orders? Would you still do your job? Brad would. And Brad did. Even when it would have been smarter to run, even when it would have been easier to lie, Brad stayed loyal to the mission. But that loyalty, it wasn't just about red tape or government clearance, it was very personal. Brad believed in responsibility, that if you knew something was wrong, you had a duty to fix it, even if it killed you. And the tragic part is, that belief did kill him. He never once thought about saving himself, not fully. He stayed focused on uncovering the truth, neutralizing threats, and protecting the innocent. But sometimes, survival demands selfishness. Brad couldn't afford to be selfish, and that's what makes him heroic, but also doomed. There's a moment in Dead Rising where Brad gets shot by another human, Carlito Keys, a man with his own twisted vision of justice. Brad doesn't panic, he doesn't whine, he tells Frank to keep going, and in that moment, he trusts Frank, a civilian, a journalist, a stranger with the most dangerous investigation in the country. That's the thing about Brad, he didn't even trust easily, but when he did, he meant it. His dynamic with Dr. Barnaby is even more painful. Brad needs him alive for answers, but Barnaby's not just a scientist. He's arrogant, he's invasive, and he's guilty. Brad plays the diplomat, the peacekeeper, the realist, even as Barnaby disrespects him, even as the man spits out half-truths while innocent people die. And still, Brad holds the line. That's not just loyalty to a mission. That's loyalty to humanity, even the parts that don't deserve it. Brad isn't flashy. He doesn't make speeches, he doesn't ask for recognition, but every time the mall falls into chaos, Brad is there, holding the gate, fighting off the infected, coordinating a plan. In a game full of psychopaths, clowns with chainsaws, and survivors on the edge of madness, Brad stands out because he stays sane. He doesn't lose himself to the horror, he doesn't break. He leads not with ego, but with presence. You feel safe when Brad is there, and when he's not, that's when things truly start to fall apart. Eventually, Brad uncovers the full scope of the conspiracy, Barnaby, the zombies, to cover up. It wasn't just some experiment going wrong, it was deliberate, systematic. A government program gone rogue, rooted in control, profit, and cruelty. And Brad, he gets too close to that truth. He confronts Carlito again, and he tries to stop him from setting off more bombs in the mall's maintenance tunnels. It's a brutal fight. Brad gets wounded badly, and as if the infection takes hold, he disappears. You don't even see him die. You do find him later, though, in the tunnels, alone, now a zombie. And in that chilling twist, he's guarding the way forward. Even in death, Brad becomes a gatekeeper to the truth. You have to kill him to keep going. And when you do, it doesn't feel like a victory. It feels like a funeral. Brad didn't die a hero. He died because he was one. Not the kind that makes headlines, but the one who shows up when it matters. Who holds the line even when it's collapsing, who stays behind so others can make it out. He represents the best of us, and the price people pay for doing what's right, when no one's watching. In the chaos of Dead Rising, it's easy to focus on Frank West, on the conspiracy, the zombies, the madness, but Brad, he reminds us that behind every story, there's someone quietly giving everything they have, so the truth can live a little longer. That's not just loyalty. That's sacrifice. And that's why I'll never forget his name. If you made it this far, thank you. Brad's story isn't really talked about enough, but it's one of those that stick with you in the game. It's quiet, it's tragic, and in a real way that's hard to shake. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I make deep dives for different games all the time, and sometimes I kind of go beyond the surface level of things, but I try to get into the heart of what really makes these games unforgettable. Drop a comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and if there's another character you would want me to cover next, hey, do your thing. And if always, this is Red Major 2K, and I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.